The fifth Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit has ended in Abuja and has been described by many as very successful in terms of content and networking. On the Diaspora this week, we bring you a high component from the rich content from the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit with special focus on Ondo State. You've got to know why. And on the health segment, we've got the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas, ANPA, and many more. This is your favorite program, The Diaspora. Welcome on board. And I am Koinsola Adetumbi, your anchor. Please stay. Welcome back. Now let's begin with the Chairman CEO of NIDCOM, Dr. Abike Dabere Arewa, to lead us into the show.
So I want to thank Professor Yami Ashibaju for his support to the summit all through the year since we started in 2018. So I want to recognize the presence of all our guests in this house and commend all of you for all you've been doing and working hard towards ensuring the development of the nation's economy. I want to commend the Nigerians in the diaspora for their enormous contributions to the development of our dear nation, Nigeria, most especially in the quest of the federal government to go far in repositioning the economy. There is a need to partner with the diaspora in achieving these goals, and that is why the summit, with this year's theme being optimizing investment opportunities for national development, is actually very, very appropriate because it creates that avenue and platform of partnership between the government and the diaspora in attracting investments into local businesses and thus enhancing foreign direct investments in Nigeria. We've said it again, we'll say it again and again and again. We have to move from talking about foreign direct investment subsequently to diaspora direct investment. Our diaspora are key, they are the best anywhere in the world, and we'll soon be moving into that. The diaspora is an economic factor. There must be an investment factor in Nigeria. This summit, ladies and gentlemen, since its inception in 2018, has been living up to its expectations of attracting investments into local businesses in Nigeria with bounteous success stories. Time will not permit me to list all of them, but we have all of them documented. But a major focus on Ondo State and the numerous investment opportunities it has to offer. The Federal Mortgage Bank National Housing Fund, which we've been working on Honorable Terrell, thank you for driving that with Mortgage Bank. The Diaspora Mortgage Scheme, which is going to be flagged up very soon in a global audience. I think we're thinking of the UK. Soon after this event, it's going to be happening at the end of November, both in Nigeria and the United Kingdom. There's also the EcoBank's Rapid Transfer Application, which is meant to ease remittances from the diaspora community to Nigeria and is available on our website for people to access and have cheaper and faster means of remittances to the country. Beyond this, the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit has over the years been expanding in participants' network, showcasing their products and services to target audiences such as the diaspora investors, sponsors, and government actors. Besides, it has been providing pro bono coaching and mentoring services to pitchers on how best to sell their businesses and attract investments. This goes to show that the summit is not just keen on attracting direct investment, but ensures that the capacities of businesses, local businesses particularly, especially those that participate in the summit, are significantly enhanced.
Others who gave birth to the summit include Jacob Adeboboye Olugbese, Ondo State Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora, Ambassador Rabiu Dagari, Director General, Directorate of Technical Cooperation in Africa, DTCA, Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria, and also the Director General, African Development Bank, ADB, Country Department in Nigeria, Mr. Lamin Barrow.
The aim of the summit, which is the investment opportunity in Ondo State, was deliberately come in line with the vision and redeem agenda of the present administration. Arákùnrin Olúwarótìmí Ọdúnayọ̀ Akérèdọ́lù the senior advocate of Nigeria. JR2 was driving the key business potential for social development, and especially when technology is fast moving ahead of our product as a means of revenue, and our forest is unstable. Your Excellency, projecting and designing Odo's support for export business of the nation will not only balance the forest market, but strengthen our naira. Also create a lot of employment opportunity for our young team youth in the entire Southwest region. The summit is therefore aimed at positioning Odo State in the investment destination among the top three, the most competitive state in Nigeria in terms of accelerated growth, increase in economic opportunity, improving quality of life for citizens. It is also aimed at promoting investment opportunity and fostering synergy as well as partnership between the government institutions and the private sectors, who are the critical players of the social economic development of the nation. It is for this reason the Ondo State Ministry of Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations was created with the objective of providing strategic advice and support for government in supporting economic development and attracting investors within and in diaspora. It will interest you to know that proper engagement of our diaspora will drive the economic growth of this country. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also confident that investors and businesses will lead this summit with increased knowledge about investment knowledge, about opportunity for investment in Ondo State with great optimism for the future. As a government, we are looking forward for the resolution for this summit for implementation.
In 2021, Nigerian diaspora home remittances was $20 billion, which was 4 times the FDA and contributed to about 6.1% of our national annual GDP.
The invaluable contribution of the diaspora in promoting a country's economic growth while creating inroads abroad cannot be overemphasized. Our own experience in India with our diaspora is an example. We have nearly 32 million diaspora spread around the world, and they have been instrumental not only in branding India as a friend to those countries, owing to their work ethics and contribution to the adopted country, but have also contributed extensively to the economic growth of India. Last year saw about $87 billion remittances from the Indian diaspora to the Indian economy. Over a period of years, this diaspora, with generations passing, they have not only excelled in their work and have risen in their companies and places where they have been working, but have also risen in the social and political circles in their adopted countries. Indian CEOs of major corporations such as Alphabet, Google, Microsoft, IBM, MasterCard, so on and so forth, are well respected. Many doctors in UK, US, and many people here in Nigeria, and the list goes on. Nigeria also has similar strengths with its diaspora, estimated at about 15 to 17 million, who have, as my previous speaker had also mentioned, remitted about $20 billion last year. Nigerians constitute the majority of health workers in the UK and have produced diaspora gems like Ms. Ikojo Iweala, the WTO head, and the heavyweight boxing champion Frank Anthony Joshua. Like India, Nigerian diaspora has also risen in the social and political circles in different parts of the world. The winning of nearly 8 US legislative positions by persons of Nigerian origin is a case in point. Most importantly, I am also proud of the Indian diaspora in Nigeria that have made Nigeria as their home because of the hospitality and the welcoming attitude of Nigeria for the past many decades.
Private sector has a very key role to play in addition to the complementary roles of both the federal and the state governments to provide the regulatory framework, to provide the fiscal and investment incentives, whilst the private sector investors and actors, whether they are service providers, agro-dealers, aggregators, the agripreneurs can invest. Essentially, these SAPZs are targeting peri-urban and rural areas so that we concentrate infrastructure in these zones and provide end-to-end kind of de-risking support and services that can allow banks and financial institutions to be more aggressive in their lending. In the risk environment, the probabilities of default are greatly reduced. And of course, strong linkages to smallholder farmers, to the anchor investors and other operators in the ecosystem, so that they are short of markets, and essentially at the end of the day we want to be able to transform the rural areas from the zones of misery to zones of prosperity. The SAPZ program was launched on 24th October, high-level launch by His Excellency President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented by His Excellency the Vice President. And then we had a dedicated session the next day on 25th October with strategic partners and investors, where we had the opportunity to go into more depth as to how the private sector can take advantage and harness opportunities on the SAPZs.
Dr. Chris Brooks, leader of Brown Ventures and keynote speaker, spotlighted on prospects and challenges of investing in startups in emerging economies.
African Americans have won hard-fought legal and political battles to gain respect and a type of almost equality in America. Yet despite all of the progress, African Americans still have many barriers to overcome. One of the most critical barriers is that although we are black, we often do not embrace that we are Africans. This is a great irony to me. It is as if our ancestral roots were mysteriously severed in the middle of the ocean. This was true for me for most of my life. I only recently learned that my DNA test results indicate that I am of Nigerian ancestry. If you zoom out just a little bit further, they indicate that there are traces that may include Ghana, Cameroon, Congo, Benin, and Togo. I once heard it said that if you go back far enough, all of humanity comes from the same village. Western Africa is my village. You are my village. It is good to finally meet you. I have waited my whole life for this moment. It is good to be home. Critically, an emerging market economy is transitioning from a low-income, less developed, often pre-industrial economy towards a modern industrial economy with a higher standard of living. I believe that that definition very much encapsulates the presentation we just heard. Africa is on the move. As I have been saying for some time, I believe that the modern world is entering what I am calling the African era. The world is changing rapidly and Africa is rising once again. At this moment in world history, one foundational question we must ask ourselves, especially as Nigerians, is what is our role as the largest black nation on planet Earth as we arc toward the African era? President Nelson Mandela famously said that the world will not respect Africa until Nigeria earns that respect. The black people of the world need Nigeria to be great as a source of pride and confidence. I deeply agree with this statement.
Thank you for believing in Nigeria. With special focus on Ondo, Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, represented by his deputy, Lucky Orimisa Ayedatiwa.
On behalf of the good people of Ondo State, I wish to appreciate most sincerely the ingenuity of the federal government as well as NITCOM for choosing to establish a desk office of the Commission in Ondo State. Thank you. This indeed is an exceptional honor that my state will never take for granted. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is on this strength that I wish to state that Ondo State will provide all it requires for the office to function optimally. Let me say here at this time that proud to now, Ondo State has always been a predominantly public servant state. But today, we are changing the narratives due to our relentless and commitment to promoting and opening Ondo State for business and investments. We have recorded commendable development in manufacturing, creation of innovation hubs, engendering private-public partnerships, and promoting agriculture as a business. Our administration has quadrupled the state's internally generated revenue. Clusters of investment in the state have provided jobs for our youth, and we have continued to transform the local economy of our state. According to a survey by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, Ondo State now ranked 8th among subnationals in Nigeria in ease of doing business. Globally, the Nigerians in the diaspora are emerging as potent forces in knowledge economy, trade, and investment. You heard all of that from Dr. Chris Brooks. There is no doubt that this trend will continue, and Nigerians in diaspora will not stop being an important political, cultural, social, and economic force in the country now and in the future. Therefore, we want to seize the opportunity of this summit to position Ondo State as the most desirable investment destination among the top 3 states in Nigeria in terms of accelerated growth, improved quality of life, and for its citizenry. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the big deal for me and for us in Ondo State is the Ondo Deep Sea Port. It's a big deal for us because we know, just like my brother governor, as represented by his special advisor on budget and economic planning, said, he made a very good case, and I'm not going to repeat all that he has said. The importance of that deep sea port cannot be overemphasized. It's a known fact that no West Africa country has multi-temperature controlled cold storage to accommodate products at their required temperature and refrigerated docks. The competitive advantages of the proposed Ondo Deep Sea Port are in the area of dry and cold storage facilities, world-class warehousing infrastructure, and management system to handle full container load FCL, less than container loads LCL, full truck loads FTL, and less than truck loads LTL. These will drive agribusiness, promote the creation of allied businesses like packaging along the port corridor, and improved foreign exchange for Nigeria. As a necessary corollary, more jobs will be created in Ondo State, and a consequent improvement in the state's internally generated revenue. This summit is an assembly of big league investors and economic gurus, and I'm calling on you to invest in our country, help us develop our dear state, Sunshine State. Because when you say you want to develop Nigeria, you want economic growth for Nigeria, Abuja is not Nigeria. Nigeria comprises of all the subnationals, the sovereign states. It's only the aggregate of the development in all of these states that can come together to say Nigeria has developed. So come to Ondo State, let's develop the subnationals.
Thank you, Ondo State. Now let's join Boya Linko for some messages.
Not so fast. Look, I'm tired. I want to check out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down.
Do you have a job where you're going to? No, but someone is arranging,
Listen, Linko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Linko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad, or even end up in prison.
If you must travel, travel legitimately. And now let's listen to some health issues as presented by ANPA doctors.
A child having seizure at home is a very, very scary scene. It is something that no parent wants to see. It's something that you don't want to experience. It's nerve-wracking. But I just want you to be relaxed when a kid is having seizure. I want you to know that more than 95% of seizures would stop. And they would stop in the first 3 minutes and maximum in the first 5 minutes. I also want to reassure you that seizures that last up to 3 minutes and stops or 5 minutes and stops will not have any side effects in the brain. There won't be any brain damage. So when you see a kid having seizure, just know that most of these kids' seizures will stop and they're not going to affect the brain. So what do you do? When a kid is having seizure, there are 5 major things that I want you to do as a parent. One of those is to make sure that you put the child by the side. Just lay the child by the side. The reason you want to do that is that you want to be able to open up the airway so that that child is breathing well. And just in case the child is having a lot of secretions in the mouth, you want the secretions to be dropping from the mouth. And if for any reason the child vomits, you don't want that vomit to go back and aspirate the child. So put the child what we call the left lateral position. Put the child by the side. That's one thing I want you to do. The other thing that I want you to do is to make sure that the environment of the child is free of anything that is going to harm the child. Just take away things that would harm that child. And then the third thing is to stay with the child. Do not leave. Just stay there. Try and be calm. The fourth thing is to call for help. If somebody's at home, call the person. Just call for a little help. The last thing is, if there are medications, if it's a child who has been having seizures and who have medications that you are instructed to give, one of the medications we give is what you put in the bottom, in the anus. It's called Diastat. That's what we call it in America. I'm not sure what it's called in Nigeria, but if you have Diastat, it's diazepam that we put in the anus. If you have that, you do. Those are the 5 major things that I want you to do.
Join us again, same time, same station next week. Keep safe and remain positive. I remain your host, Koinsola Adetumbi. Bye for now.